Hey students, this is Mr. Boyd. Welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to take a look at solving multi-step equations that have variables on both sides. So, real quick reminder, we're going to use the acronym distribute, combine your like terms, and you'll see that up here in the lesson. We want to move the variables to one side, and then we're going to solve, or I like to say we're going to isolate the variable. Okay? And then, of course, we always check our solution at the end. So let's go ahead and take a look at this first example. So in this first example, I notice after I draw my line at the equal sign, I notice that I have variables on both sides. So I don't have any distribution to do. I don't have to combine any like terms. But I do have to move this 2x over here with this 8x so that I can isolate the variable. So first step I'm going to do is subtract the 2x. Now the reason I subtract 2x instead of 8x is because I always choose the smaller one. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides because that's the smaller variable. So 8x minus 2x is going to leave me with 6x plus 17 equals 2x minus 2x is 0, and 0 plus 35, that just leaves me with the 35. Now I'm going to isolate the variable. First I'm going to subtract 17 from both sides. That's going to give me 6x equals 18. Next thing I'll do is divide by 6. And that's going to give me x equals 3. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and move on to number 2. So number 2, I'm going to go ahead and draw my line. Again, I've got a 7k on the left. I've got a 2k on the right. I always move the smaller one. So I'm going to subtract 2k from this side. And I'm going to subtract 2k from this side. I need to eliminate one of the k's on one side of the equal sign. So 7k minus 2k is going to leave me with 5k plus 8 equals, this is 0, negative 37. All right, next I'll isolate the variable. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. That's going to leave me with a 5k. Negative 37 minus 8, that's going to give me a negative 45. Those signs are the same, so I'm actually going to add those two negative numbers together and get a bigger negative number. Next, I'm going to divide by 5 to undo the multiplication. And that's going to leave me with k equals a negative divided by a positive is a negative answer. 45 divided by 5 is 9. So k equals negative 9. Okay, let's move on down to the next one. Number 3. All right, number 3, let's see here. M plus 3 equals 9m minus 19. Okay, let's review now. If there's no number in front of that, it's a 1m. So I see I got 1m on the left, a 9m on the right, so I'm going to actually subtract 1m from both sides. So that I just have m's on one side of the equal sign. So 1m minus 1m, that's 0. So I got 3 equals 9 minus 1 would be 8m minus 13. The next thing I would do is isolate the variable. So I need to add 13. Remember, we want to undo our addition and subtraction before we undo our multiplication and division. So 13 plus 3 would give me 16. Over here, I would just have 8m because that turns out to be 0. On my next step, I would divide by 8 on both sides. 16 divided by 8 would be 2. 8 divided by 8 would be 1m, or just m. Okay, let's move on to number 4. All right, here I notice I've got a negative 4y and a negative 3y. Negative 4 is smaller than negative 3 because it's further to the left on the number line. So I'm actually going to add the 4y to both sides. Notice I'm using my inverse operations. That's going to give me 6 on this side. Negative 3y plus 4y, that's the same thing as 4 minus 3. That's 1y plus 12. Next, I'll isolate the variable by subtracting 12. Again, remember, we want to undo our addition before we undo our multiplication. That's going to give me negative 6 on the left-hand side, 6 minus 12, and a 1y on the right-hand side. And of course, 1 times y is just y, so y equals negative 6. Okay? Let's see if we can knock out number 5 and 6. All right, so when I look at this one, I've got a 6a and a 2a. All right, so I'm going to subtract the smaller one again. So I'm going to subtract 2a from both sides. Now notice I don't subtract that from the 40 because the 40 does not have an a on it. Those are not what we call like terms. They have to be like terms to subtract them. So 6 minus 2 would leave me with 4a plus 40. 2a minus 2a is 0. And yes, that's possible. Let's subtract 40 from both sides. So that's 0. So now I've got 4a equals negative 40. So next we'll divide by 4. And a equals negative 10. Okay? All right. Let's see what else we have here. I think I'm going to leave these last 3 as your turn problems and put those in the video for you guys to check. So guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you took good notes and answered the quiz questions properly. And if you're on YouTube and you want to subscribe to my channel, feel free, and then you can get updates on videos that I put out. Thanks guys, have a good day.